Defensive game plan. Let's jump into it, guys. Surprise, surprise. Neutralize the run game. It almost always starts with this, right? The Cardinals running game ranks 10th in the NFL at 4.6 yards per rush. However, Arizona is banged up at the running back position, forcing them to rely on inexperience against the Packers, who boast a top-ranked run defense. Jeff Hafley should focus on shutting down Arizona's ground attack first and foremost, forcing them to rely on their less consistent passing game. So again, when you look at it here, you can see where Arizona ranks. They are tied for 10th best in the league in yards per carry, Tim, at 4.6. But it is worth mentioning, James Conner is out. He's on IR. There's another running back, too. We mentioned it last night that's on IR as well. So they're kind of down to their third and fourth string running back. So you would expect our defense to be able to handle that, but you don't want to get too comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Because this is their bread and butter. This is what they do well.
And think about the unscouted looks. That you've got guys, you're this far down on your depth chart. How much tape do we have? And, other than, schematically what we know they're doing, trying to run the football. So I think you're right. You don't want to be overly aggressive. You want to, stay disciplined, stay on your gap and, be stout against this run and give them a chance to play right into our hands, which is, Jacoby Brissett throwing the ball. I think that's going to favor us matchup wise.
And Jen Wright points out it was Trey Benson. That's the other running back that's hurt. It's on IR as well. So Thank you guys for that. Thank you, Ed. Appreciate you too, buddy. So there you go. Let's stop the running game. Number 2, pressure the quarterback. Regardless of whether Kyler Murray or Jacoby Brissett is under center, the Packers should focus on generating consistent pressure against the Cardinals, who rank 25th in the NFL in yards per pass attempt. Bringing pressure will not only force mistakes, but also prevent the quarterback from finding any rhythm. If there was a week, Tim, where we break out the coffee house blitzes, we break out the fire zone looks, the simulated pressures, to me, this is the game. Don't just sit back and let the quarterback do what they done to you the last couple of weeks if it's a close game. However, I want to say this and be very clear. The Packers jump up early to a 2-score lead. I'm totally cool with it. Do the same thing you've been doing. Hafley was very vocal about it this week. Like, hey, we're playing to win the game. We're not playing to have these, wonderful looking stats. Oh, we need to get 2 sacks. We need to get a pick. No, you're winning by a couple scores. Let's make them use every inch of the field. And the goal is to keep them out of the end zone as much as possible.
That's right. It's the name of the game.
So
bend but don't break, man.
Yeah. So again, pressure in the quarterback is going to be huge. They've got the 25th ranked passing offense here at 6.2 yards per pass attempt. And oh, by the way, the Fire Matt LaFleur crowd probably want to turn your head and go la 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 la. Green Bay is number 2 in yards per pass attempt this year, only trailing Seattle at the moment. So having a phenomenal year there. And again, when you look at the PFF grades, this is what we were talking about. Jacoby Brissett is actually grading out higher than Kyler Murray, albeit he's only had 45 attempts. Kyler Murray's at 161 on the year, but Jacoby Brissett grading out with a 76. And Kyler Murray is sitting at a 72.1. We also showed last night on PTA, Jacoby Brissett's career PFF grades, man, they are consistently in the 70s the entire time. So definitely something to take into consideration. I think he is a player that can ball out when he needs to.
When you consider, what we're mentioning about pressuring the quarterback, regardless of who's under center, with LVN not playing, with Devontae Wyatt not playing, possibility of a corner like Keyshawn not playing if this illness is serious, who do you think stepping up? Do you think everything is going to have to fall on Micah Parsons' shoulders, Rashawn Gary's shoulders? Where do we generate the pressures? Who's stepping up?
For me, I think it depends on what the tape shows and their scrambling ability. You may see a touch spy because both of these quarterbacks have a little bit of mobility to them. I mean, you see Jacoby Brissett's running grades at 82.4. Kyler Murray's is 71.4. So you don't want to get so aggressive that you don't have that touch spy. And it might be something too, Tim, where you slant the defensive line, let's say to the right, and then have a defender loop off the other side. So you're kind of forcing them into a manufactured contain. We've seen that a lot last year as well with the fire zone looks and the simulated pressure. So for me, man, I don't really look at it like, all right, this player right here needs to step up, that player needs to step up. I think it's more about schematically being very, very strategic on how you're going to apply the pressure and making sure they're not scrambling on you. Because if we continue to play man coverage at 19% a clip at cover one man, if their back's to the ball, and you're not controlling those rushing lanes, you're going to have another, as I could refer to him as Danny DeVito, not Tommy DeVito, but Danny DeVito running all over you. So the thought of Danny DeVito, by the way, in a football uniform, not pants, running down the football field just cracks me up, man. So anyway.
Danny DeVito would be a fullback probably if he was playing football, right?
I don't know what else.
Either that or a center, maybe.
They could just have him stand in the backfield on special teams plays, and they could use his head as the tee. You know what I mean? Just have the ball out and kick off of it. About the only thing I can come up with. So.
I love it.
All right. Number three, contain key pass catchers. Cardinals tight end Trey McBride has emerged as a reliable target in the passing game. Packers need a solid plan to contain him, likely utilizing a combination of linebackers and safeties. While the Cardinals receivers are talented, limiting their big play potential will be key, specifically Marvin Harrison Jr., who is averaging 15.4 yards per reception. It's also worth noting that the Packers could be down Keyshawn Nixon, cornerback, appearing on the injury report with an illness, much like Josh Jacobs. If Nixon does not play on Sunday, Carrington Valentine will see a full workload opposite of Nate Hobbs on the boundary. So when you look at their targets here, potential targets, Tim, Trey McBride, 78.4, right? His drop grade has just been phenomenal. So the strong point of his game is catching the football. And that's why I said last night when we were kind of breaking these PFF grades down a little bit deeper, I was suggesting, sometimes like somebody like Tucker Kraft, you want to play it safe and make sure he doesn't yak you to death. Trey McBride's grade looks great. He's got a great drop grade of 90, right? However, he does not have much yak at all. His yak over expected is like -9 or something, according to NFL Pro. So you shouldn't be overly concerned with his ability with yards after catch. What you should be doing is attacking the catch point with little concern about him breaking tackles because you got too aggressive at the catch point. I would love to see them play a little more snug on Trey McBride, and I wouldn't worry about him taking the top off the defense as long as your matchups are okay. Like if it's an Evan Williams on him with speed for speed, both of our backers can run with him. There's no doubt that Quay's got the athleticism and Adrian Cooper's got the athleticism. It's just the emphasis I would put on coaching this defense up this week would be real simple. When they're trying to get the ball to Trey McBride, be aggressive and attack the catch point. Okay, I would rather us get hit with a pass interference call than just allow him to have clean catch all day long. And don't worry about the yak. It doesn't mean you don't try to wrap up and tackle the proper way, but put your emphasis on attacking the hands while he's trying to catch the football.
That's a great point. I mean, I'd argue the same for Marvin Harrison Jr. too. I mean, he's a touchdown machine for them when he needs to be. And I agree. Stay stride for stride. Don't get an illegal contact call or a holding or a PI on the route. And then be aggressive at the catch point. I agree. And Keyshawn is so good at that. It's going to be so important that he plays tomorrow. If not, I fully have confidence in Carrington Valentine to step up and do much of the same. But I agree with that approach, man. You want to attack the catch point, especially with sure-handed receivers like that.
Yeah. So again, it's why PFF grades aren't everything. If you look at Trey McBride's grade of 78.4 and you look at Marvin Harrison Jr. 65.4 and you only took the PFF grade into consideration, you would think, all right, forget about Marvin Harrison Jr. Let's stop Trey McBride. But then when you dive into the numbers, Trey McBride isn't getting a whole lot of yak. And on the other side, Marvin Harrison Jr. is averaging over 15 yards per reception. So you got to kind of take all the information for what it's worth. Now we're talking about personnel tendency. They're going to be in 11 personnel all year long so far. They've been 11 personnel, which is 3 wide receiver sets that will trigger our nickel 4-2-5 look. They've been in that 54% of the time. Their second most used personnel, 23.1% of the time, they're in 12 personnel. So it's 11 personnel 54% of the time, 12 personnel 23% of the time, 13 personnel 9% of the time, right at 10%, to be honest with you. So now, again, with that 13, there could be a whole lot of goal line opportunities that's kind of mixed in the 13. So I would really press into they're going to be in 11 the majority of the day. They would have to prove to me they're going to be in 12 more than 11 before I would believe that going in with the game plan. So when you look at their EPA too, when they're in 11 personnel, their EPA ranking is 25th. And when they're in 12 personnel, it's ranking 10th. So they're having way more success from an EPA standpoint. Like EPA per pass out of 12 personnel is a positive 0.12, while in 11 personnel, it's a negative 0.02. right? So running the ball out of 11 personnel, they're a minus 0.15, and running the ball out of 12 personnel, they're just at an even 0, which is obviously a much better grade than the negative 0.15. So it is worth mentioning this might be the game where they go, you know what, guys, the analytics are suggesting we're having more success out of 12 personnel. Let's press into that. That's where you've got to be ready to adjust. And when we talk about the game, it's broken down into 3 aspects: the first quarter, the second and third quarter, and then the fourth quarter. Okay. And what I mean is the first quarter, you're gathering information. Has the scouting report that we put together matched up with what they're doing on the field? Okay. And if so, don't worry about adjusting. However, if it isn't matching up, if they're showing something different, the second and third quarter is all about adjusting and controlling the middle 8. And in the fourth quarter, throw the game plan out. What has worked up to this point? What hasn't? What adjustment have they made? The fourth quarter is a standalone game. So you go in with this information, but you also, I guarantee you, the Packers have seen that EPA per pass and that EPA per rush going, man, they're actually better than 12. Have a backup plan if they go 12 heavy tomorrow.
May need a code word for every time you see that second tight end on the field when they're substituting, just so guys can alert on that and account for it, because I think you're right. I mean, bottom line, we're going to see a lot of 11 and 12. We know that for sure. And I wouldn't anticipate, seeing any 22 personnel. As you see way at the bottom, they're completely out of running backs at this point. But I would think a lot of 11 and 12. And, be alerting when you see 2 tight ends on the field for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
It explains why they are getting a little bit of success, right? The extra tight end, whether that's a chip block or a sift or, an extra target in the pass game, I could see them pressing into some 12.
Yeah, Jen Wright says, I think Cooper is going to be big this game. I hope so, Jen. And again, I could see him blitzing a little more than he has in the past based off of what we're talking about with simulated pressures and, driving him down with the blitz and maybe have someone else with a little touch spot at the midline, that type of thing. And then Steve kind of on the same page here. Cooper has to step up. Haven't heard much of him lately, not like last year. What's crazy, Steve, is you look at the PFF grade, he's grading out like a 75. Now, he was in the 80s last year. We seen one play last week that we highlighted. It was a 19-yard pass where I felt like it was Coop's responsibility to get a little more depth on a cover 6 look, and he didn't get back in time. And you could kind of see him recognize it as the ball came out, like, oh, crap, I'm not deep enough here. But I still think he's playing very good football. I'm with you, though. Last year, he played with his hair on fire. Hopefully, that's coming here as we get a little later into the year for sure. All right, Tuesday players, Tim. Let's go rapid fire here. Edge defender Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat leads the Cardinals with 5 sacks and a 13.8% pressure rate. When Sweat is on, he is on. When he is on, he is on, and the Packers need to make sure he's accounted for when they do drop back to pass. I mean, you can see it's kind of hard to see the grades here. I think I got it zoomed in all the way as I can. That 77.4, his highest graded game was actually week 3 against San Francisco, a very similar offense to ours, right? Conceptually anyway, an 81.7 he had there. Throughout the course of his career, 77, 70, 67, 83, 76, 70, 62, 65. He is a consistent football player. There's no doubt about it, Tim. So Josh Sweat, make sure you got a chip over there. Make sure you're just aware of where he's at. Now, listen, if it's a quick passing game, if it's a quick passing call, don't worry about the chip. Ball's going to come out anyway, right? But if you got these deep drop back sets or you got maybe a play action look, make sure Tucker's on that side. Smack him in the ribs before he goes out in his leak route.
I agree. And you see he's a tackling monster too. Tackle grade consistently, well above 70. So yeah, you've got to get a chip on him in those situations. But you're right, when you're running quick, I mean, it doesn't really matter. But we can't afford to get ahead of ourselves or lazy, right? And you all of a sudden you forget to account for a guy like that, and the next thing you know, QB1's on the ground, and we can't have that in this game at all.
Yeah, definitely. The second of 4 Tuesday players, and again, guys, these guys probably wouldn't be Tuesday players on most teams, but these are definitely the 4 best players, in my opinion, on their team that's not named Kyler Murray. And when Kyler Murray's on, he's on, boy. He can be electric. It's just he's very inconsistent. He's probably not even going to play tomorrow. But Trey McBride, tight end. McBride leads the Cardinals in receiving yards, but to this point hasn't been very effective with yards after the catch. The Packers defense should coach to play him with tight coverage at the catch point more than worrying about making guys miss after the catch. As you can see here, Trey McBride's off to a great start this year. 69, 72, 73, 62, 79, 71 for a PFF grade right now of where's he at? 78.4. And in terms of his career, Tim, 51, 76, 86, 78. So he's one of the better tight ends in the league. I would say he's a top 10 tight end in the National Football League. But again, we kind of talked about this already. Just know where he's at. You got to make sure you know where Marvin Harrison Jr. is, and you got to make sure you know where Trey McBride is. Trey McBride is going to be that guy, Tim, that they go to when they need to play, right? It's kind of like back in the day, you think of all the great teams in history. God, what was his name? What was the guy who played for the Colts? I shouldn't ask a question I don't know the answer to. He played with Peyton Manning, Dallas something, right? Dallas
Clark.
Dallas Clark. When they needed to play, boy, they went to him. Baltimore on their little run here recently, Mark Andrews was the guy, right? He was that tight end to go to. Patrick Mahomes, obviously, and Travis Kelce here in this little dynasty they put together in the last decade. Same type of thing, man. Again, when the game's on the line, think play or not play. When they need a play, they go to Trey McBride. There's no doubt about it.
Especially like we were just talking about, if they're going to lean on some 12 personnel looks. Well, if there's two tight ends on the field, that your priority is Trey McBride. First and foremost, make sure you're accounting for him. I would agree with that.
Yeah. All right, moving along. Defensive tackle, Calais Campbell. The ageless wonder continues to play high-level football. Campbell is a monster in the middle, standing at 6'8". Although his best football may be behind him, Campbell can still wreck a game plan both in a run and with his 3 sacks on pass rushes. Matt LaFleur needs to scheme around his ability to bat down balls in the short passing game as well. So, again, we already talked about attacking the linebackers, Tim. Maybe on some slants, some shallows, things like that. The problem is you got that big bastard with his paws in those throwing lanes. That can be a problem.
Yep, absolutely. And again, we can say what we want about the past the prime talk. He's still going to affect the game. You've got to account for him. That's why he's on this list. I 100% agree with that. So it's about, like you said, play balance in your scheme and, willing to adjust. If you're not willing to adjust, or maybe you're willing to adjust, but you're not doing it fast enough, guys like this can hurt you big time.
Definitely. And when you look at his PFF grades on the year, 61, 77, 90.3 against San Fran. So, again, similar scheme, right? Seattle, 75.3. Then he dropped to a 43 and a 61. So, really, his last 2 games has been, less than what he's done in the first 4 weeks there. So, maybe he is starting to drop off a little bit. Fatigue already setting in. I mean, the guy is – how old is he now, Tim? What do we got there? He's 39 years old.
Yeah.
Tim, he's 39 years old, carrying around 282 pounds of weight in a 6'8" frame. That body is tired, bro. It's got to be.
It's got to be.
Yeah, look at all these years, man. You kidding me? 74, 82, 80, 76, 80, 74. Look at this right here, prime. 90, 90, 91, 91, 84, 82, 75, 76, 71, 61, 68, 55. That was going recently backwards, but you see his best football was right in the middle of the career. But, man, these last few years, Tim, he's still in the green, man.
I was just going to say, it's like if he's trending, back down, he's trending back down to where he was in 2013, 2014, which is still a damn good football player. You have to account for Calais Campbell.
Yeah, as J.
Stand-up
Cole
guy, by the way, too. One of those guys on your short list of, if we could steal him for the Packers, you'd welcome a guy like Calais Campbell with open arms in Green Bay for sure.
I was hoping they would go after him the last couple of years. Man, having him in the middle of that defense, oh my gosh, man. Veteran leadership, good locker room guy. As J. Cole said, that's Unc right there. Amen to that. This is that dude. This is that Unc when you're at the cookout and he sees you running that mouth out there on the flag football field. He's going to set the potato salad down and go, I'll be right back. Give me just a second. Let me go ahead and show these guys how to do this. So well said there, Jay, for sure. And then we get to the final player here, Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. is off to an average start to the 2025 season, but his big playability should not be overlooked. He leads the Cardinals with 15.4 yards per reception and a plus 19.9 receiving EPA. This is where PFF isn't everything, right? You can see he's leading in other analytics here. He also recorded his highest PFF grade of the season last week in Indy. So far a 72, 56, 53, 56, 71, and then an 84 against Indianapolis on the road last week. Now you'll see there's 2 ways of looking at this, Tim. You could say, oh, he's playing bad, or you could say last year he was a 77. That means he's due if he's going to get back up to that 77 mark, much like we were just talking about Edgerrin Cooper in the 80s last year, according to PFF. This year he's dropped into the 70s. He's probably due to get back up to that baseline that he's already shown in his young career. But Marvin Harrison Jr. definitely got to watch for, man.
Yeah, and still a young player on the rise, still kind of getting into his NFL speed, NFL legs, NFL body, NFL injuries, dealing with playing at the highest level. We all know that he was obviously clearly super heavily recruited. Everybody wanted this guy, right? He did go number 1 overall, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was number 4.
Okay, first round, 4th selection. Okay, so
Everybody
top
was
5 pick.
expecting to go. Yeah.
Top 5 pick. You had people falling over themselves trying to get him. So the hype is there, and I think it's tough to judge young players and their trajectory of how they live up to the hype, right? Travis Hunter obviously has lived up to the hype, I think, at this point in the NFL level. Some guys take a year or two, but either way, we know what Marvin Harrison Jr. is capable of, and that's another guy that you cannot afford to take for granted out there on the field, regardless of what the numbers or the stats are saying.
So let me give you guys an example. Excuse me, the voice is gone. We're about done, though. We made it, Tim. Let me give you an example of how they're attacking defenses with Marvin Harrison Jr., okay? So against the Colts, here he had a 21-yard catch, okay? And the play call was 11 gun nasty, nub right, X climb cab, Y drag T wheel. And as you look at the play design here, I'm going to try to get it on the screen for you. That's pretty solid there. Let me go full screen.
Breaking news from Bates in the chat.
Uh-oh. Let's hear it, Bates. Hit me with it, man.
Yeah, go ahead. I got it start up there for you, Clayton, if you want to.
Right. Give me that breaking news soundbite, Tim. Bates says Packers have yet to depart for Arizona because of mechanical issues with the team plane per sources. The delay is now approaching 5 hours, and they're still on the tarmac. Kickoff against the Cardinals is at 1:25 p.m. Mountain Time on Sunday. Wow. That might not sound like a big deal, but sitting on an airplane for 5 hours and not before a game, fire Rich Bisaccia's ass right now. I know it's his fault, Tim. I know it's his fault.
How dare you?
Thank you for that update, Bates. Look like Jacob in the chat, bearded Packer fan, had it as well. Mechanical issue, right? So appreciate you guys bringing us that information on the fly. That was per Tom Pelissero, the arrow over there. So there you go. So Bates being the upstanding human being he says Jacob mentioned it. I just looked it up. Thank you, Jamie. Appreciate you. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that developing story there. Hopefully that thing don't get pushed back or something. But you know how sometimes things can get wonky. They may go, well, we're just going to have a third Monday night game. That would suck. I'm ready for football.
Man.
I'm ready for football.
Terrible.
So, again, this play call that we talked about, right? It's 11 gun nasty, nub right, X climb cab, Y drag T wheel. So you'll notice they had this defender or this player right here, this receiver that's in the 2 at snap was actually lined up in the 1. All right. J. Cole, hop off that plane and whoop that ass. I like it. I love that energy. So the 1 shifted over to the number 2. Okay. I believe this is 11 personnel. There's a chance this is a tight end here, but the way the defense looks to me, I think they're in their nickel. So I'm pretty sure that that's what this is 11 personnel. So technically, by the time the ball is snapped, Marvin Harrison Jr. is playing the X. Okay, he's on the line of scrimmage opposite the tight end, so he's the X in this case. Even though the 3 is probably the one that actually declared on the line, you could see that's the X in my opinion. So he's going to run a climb route. That's the X climb aspect. The cab aspect of this play is going to be a dig with a drag underneath, and then the Y is going to be a drag as well. So essentially, what you've got is 2 different concepts here. Okay. You've got the cab concept of a dig and a shallow or a drag, but if you just said, all right, that's just going to be the dig, you've also got a mesh concept. And when you played this in motion in real time, you'll notice both of these guys, both the number 3 here and the nub tied in on the right, were literally just going in trying to pick guys off. They were just trying to get in the way and set legal picks, right, is what they were designed to do. And then, of course, they got the running back trying to leak out and run butt naked through the trailer park on the wheel route. It's real simple, though. They were in a cover 1 man look, if I remember correctly. The mesh concept of the cab there, they actually bumped a little bit. But, again, Marvin Harrison Jr. getting just enough separation and making a great catch. That was a 21-yard gain. Just want to give you guys an idea. Essentially, what you come away with here, nasty splits, much like we run, nub right look, which means trips left, and they got a wheel attached for a late developing route in it. And everything here is really, it's all about, if they're in man coverage, run the pick. If they're in zone, find the soft spot. But you got multiple options at multiple layers, and it was just a great throw and catch to Marvin Harrison Jr. for 21 yards. Just want to give you guys, like I said, just a little bit of details. Does that make sense, Tim? That's just one of many ways that they try to attack you through the air.
Makes a lot of sense to me. I really hope that we don't see any single high against this look, because that's
where the beater, right, Tim?
Yeah, that's the beater. That's the middle field closed beater right there for sure.
Now, if you were to say, okay, how would you approach this then, right? How would you approach stopping this particular play? If let's say they show a lot of climb routes from the backside, I would come out with a cover 9 look. And listen, you got to have some huevos to go out there and run a cover 9. A cover 6 is basically a combination of cover 2 and cover 4, right? Well, typically the cover 4 is on the strong side of the formation, meaning this would be the cover 4 side, okay? So it'd be cover 4, which 2 deep quarters, and then a half. So it would be quarter, half in a cover 6. In a cover 9 look, it's different. You're actually going to put the half on the strong side of the formation and the quarter on the opposite side. So if you get a team that runs a lot of climb routes out of a trips or a tray look, you can literally set them up and bait them into throwing into a quarters coverage side on a climb route. But again, if you come out and you call that, Tim, and they read it and they have choice routes attached, these two guys go vertical. And what I mean, if they throw if they literally hit you with an X go and that number 2 on a corner, you're cooked. So you got to pick your spots. But that's one area where you could run a cover 9 and take away that climb route. That, and of course, playing with the proper leverage. But again, if you play with crosser or climb style leverage, you're really selling yourself out to the middle of the field. And if they've got a choice, or to the inside of the route, if they got a choice route attached and you're in cover 1 man and you clamp inside and they run a cross corner, cooked, right?
Yep.
That's why
I've seen that. We've seen that before.
Yeah, keep it simple. Give me a cover 6, a cover 9, and a cover 3 look, right? And stop their run. And I think you're going to be fine in this game. So if we can get the airplane off the tarmac, right? So
yeah, that would be a start.
Yeah.
Send that private jet over there, Clayton. Tell them gas it up. Get on the phone.
Exactly. All right. That's the game plan, guys. So hopefully you guys got a little bit better idea of how the Packers can attack this Arizona Cardinals offense and defense. We try to give you guys enough information there to kind of dive in, and let us know in the comments what you think. And if you're wondering, man, where is this at? If you want to support the show, the best way to do so is to join our Patreon group at patreon.com/PackerFan Total Access. Typically by Tuesday or Wednesday, I start to post this on the Patreon group, and I slowly put the game plan together. So rather than wait to the finished product, what I'll do is throw in the first couple of installs, right? So you're getting the information as I'm putting it into the system. And then by the time we get to Saturday, bang, you got the entire game plan there to read as we dive over it in the day or day before the game, right? Typically,
kind of like having your notes for a test, right? The old open book test back in
Absolutely.
the day. You're all prepped for the game, ready to go.
And again, this isn't like hey guys, this is what they're going to do. It's just looking at it from a coach's standpoint of, hey, this is a way you can attack both the offense and defense. And typically what will happen too, Tim, is it's hard to keep it limited to just 3 points on offense, 3 points on defense. So it gets your mind churning, like a little exercise of, oh yeah, but what if they go this route as well, right? Like we didn't even talk about screen passes. That might be a way to attack the Packers defense based off of everything we just talked about, right? So just get you looking at everything a little more globally. So
absolutely.
All right, good deal, man. So that's going to do it for the game plan. Like I said, let us know in the comments what you think about that specific game plan geared around stopping the Arizona Cardinals. Tim, the throat, I'm not going to lie, man, it's hurting. All right, we hurting. Your boy going to have to hit some cough syrup, double dose tonight. Sleep
on that scissor.
Not that scissor, but close. And we'll get ready for the pregame show tomorrow. But before we get out of here, man, tell them about this awesome charity we're partnered up with, man.
Yeah, all month of October, we're partnered with OperationHorsesHeal.org, helping veterans and their families with equine therapy events. We're trying to raise some money so they can get a truck and a trailer to transport these beautiful, majestic horses to these events, driven basically to help ease the burden on our veterans when it comes to mental health issues. It's equine therapy. It allows veterans to take their own self-guided wellness journey. OperationHorsesHeal.org is where you can go learn more about what they're doing over there. /how can I help? If you want to go right to the donation page, each donation is going to get you entered into with the drawing to win a Romeo Dobbs jersey, autographed Romeo Dobbs away jersey. You can also scan that QR code in the upper right. We'll be doing this all the way until October 31st. So get your donations in. No donation amount is too small. Each one is going to get you an entry for that chance to win the Romeo Dobbs jersey.
Yeah. And here's the thing too, if you don't have the funds to donate even $1, I've been there, but I've been broke as a joke in my life. You kidding me?
Yep.
Tell you another way you can help. Share that website with people. If you know a veteran, right? Hey, veterans know other veterans, right? And veterans know some veterans that, hey, man, they're struggling. They might not be the veteran that's struggling with PTSD, but they know someone else. They can share that website with them, get linked up, and who knows what that could lead to in terms of healing for them. So that's another way that you can help, man. Again, if you ain't got money, you got time, right? If you ain't got time, you probably got a little bit of money. Both help in any cause that you choose to help anybody else out on this big ball of mud that's supposedly flying through space. But anyway, we'll keep Tim always laughs.
For another show.
If you guys wonder why I mention flat Earth from time to time, one of my hobbies, and listen, if you're a flat earther, God bless you. If you think it's stupid, God bless you. But one of my favorite hobbies is to get a group of people together and get the conversation going and just walk away as they just lose their mind on each other. It's absolutely hilarious. So that's why I always try to bring it up from time to time. But anyway, J-Co, Clayton sipping on that scissor. Not tonight, sir. So we will be before we go to bed. My goodness. Tim, you got anything else, man?
No, just hope you feel better, man. Get some, have a hot toddy or something too. Drink some tea. Yeah, get some rest, man. We got a game tomorrow, man.
There might be a little Woodford Reserve over there.
There you go. Little Woodford, little honey, little lemon, little tea.
I got to show y'all this real quick before we get out of here. Hold on, man. Keep them occupied, Tim.
I'm just going to talk more about the charity that we're working with. The QR code's back up there, guys. Make sure you scan it. And actually, make sure you go to the website, OperationHorsesHeal.org. Spend a little time. They got a really nice website. You can learn all about the equine therapy programs and everything that they're doing up there for sure. Clayton, what do you got? Show and tell. You back?
Yeah. So I'm not a heavy drinker, but I'll have a sip every now and again, right? Like I've learned firsthand from friends, family. Addiction is a real thing, right? It's a real problem. So I try to keep things like that very, very, very much so in check. But Mandy got me this, and I think it's awesome. So check it out. I think I've showed it before. So it says it's got the Hall of Fame stamp on it, a metal stamp, right? And this has got my Woodford in it. And on the other side, check this out, Tim. So it's obviously the shape of a football. A little Vince Lombardi mock.
Oh, wow.
Autograph. Beautiful. So yeah, that's
fire, man.
Yeah, immediately made. And then underneath, got a little football field there too, a little gridiron, right? It's pretty cool. It's just a neat piece of, I guess you could call it memorabilia. I don't know, but
I think so.
Mandy with the clutch win there, man.
Mandy always finds that kind of stuff.
No, you kidding me? We were in Jonesboro today shopping. My gosh, man. I had to walk out of the shop. I went across the street and got me a blueberry muffin, sat on the bench while she spent my retirement. You know what I mean? That's the way it works.
That's how it's supposed to be, man.
That's right. All right, guys, we're out of here. Thank y'all so much. Hit that like, hit subscribe. Make sure you click the bell icon so you're notified when we go live. Like tomorrow, we're going live for a PTA pregame show. We always do it at least an hour and 20 minutes before kickoff. I may go live a little earlier if I feel okay. As John Walker says, Johnny Walker with honey. Look at him promoting his own thing.
You gotta love it.
So we may go live a little bit earlier with the 1 o'clock games going. I may just jump in there and kind of give a little more updates around the league type thing, maybe an extra 15 or 20 minutes of content. But nonetheless, man, it's game day. Let's get that plane off the tarmac, get them guys landed safely, and go out there and kick some Cardinal ass tomorrow. Tim, appreciate you, buddy.
Appreciate you too. Thanks for having me, Clay.
All right, man. Everybody have a wonderful evening. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world. And go Pack.
Here we go.
Nice.
Bye, guys.